Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Here's my weekly Newcastle United update video. So I'll be covering all the happenings on Tyneside over the past week. It's been a pretty eventful one actually. Of course, after the purchase of the club by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, the PIF, I expected it would only be a matter of time before major changes began to take place. Things have begun to evolve, so let's talk about all the developments. So enjoy the video and let's get straight into it. So first up, we have to talk about Steve Bruce. So on the 20th of October this week, he mutually parted ways with the club after spending over 2 years in charge, actually. And I feel what he achieved during his time with the club is subject to debate. Results-wise, we did finish 12th place in the Premier League last season and 13th the season prior. We also reached the quarter-final stage in the Emirates FA Cup under him. I guess it is no secret that the majority of the Newcastle fan base were pretty unhappy with Steve Bruce and they were keen to push for a replacement ever since he came on board, actually, after Rafa. I feel his presence in the club was always one of contention for most Newcastle fans. You know, he was sort of seen as somewhat of a downgrade from his predecessor. I think if you've followed my weekly Newcastle updates over the past year, you will know that I personally felt Steve Bruce was largely out of his depth tactically. I didn't feel he was getting the best out of the players that we have, and we lacked that team cohesion a lot of the time because of the shortcomings. And I really did respect his man management skills, and I actually, respect the bond he shared with the squad. I think it was pretty evident. Even in the way the players wished him all the best, you could see that, with Alan St. Maximin, he really appeared to respect him and they had a good rapport for sure. Despite all of my views on what Steve Bruce lacked managing our team, I do have to say that the constant abuse he was subjected to for months and months, it was really quite sad, I think, and quite unfair. I think we can all have views on football and players and managers, but the level of trolling for Steve Bruce wasn't unacceptable. And I think if you're that type of football fan who regularly spews hate online and makes personal attacks, when you're not happy with something related to your club, then please don't follow my channel, because that's certainly not the type of football fan I want to be associated with. I think criticism doesn't have to extend to a personal level. It doesn't have to involve families. It's just cruel and unnecessary. So anyways, moving on, no doubt the majority of the fan base, we weren't heartbroken over the end of Steve Bruce's tenure, especially after Newcastle's pretty disappointing 3-2 loss to Spurs last Sunday. It's no surprise actually that Steve Bruce isn't part of the new plans. As we can see already, the PIF-owned Newcastle is eagerly going after a new team philosophy. So what's next for us coach-wise? Well, at the moment, Graham Jones, he's serving as the interim manager ahead of a permanent appointment quite soon. So how about we talk about possible replacements for Steve Bruce at Newcastle? First up, Steven Gerrard. Now, Gerrard is a legend internationally and deeply revered in English football. Of course, I think he's a solid choice for the new manager at Newcastle. After a pretty successful season with Rangers in the Scottish Premiership, his strength as a manager is undoubtedly worth taking a chance on for sure. Last season, he led Rangers to a really impressive title-winning season in that Scottish Premiership. They absolutely demolished oppositions with 32 wins and 6 draws in their 38 games. Talk about an invincible season. I really feel that Gerrard would have the right template with Newcastle to build, a true success story because of his coaching philosophy. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on all the reports surrounding this rumour. Next up, Antonio Conte. As a serial trophy winner, I have no doubt in my mind that he'll perform at Newcastle. After leading Inter Milan to win a Serie A trophy last season, Conte's track record is just one that speaks for itself. However, something that might be slightly concerning with his potential appointment in the long term is the fact that he's never stayed at a club for longer than 3 years, I believe. Is he the right man to consider for rescuing a club from a close relegation? Let's not forget that we are currently 18th place in the league standings. But I feel like if the early stages of Newcastle's new ownership does go well, Conte's addition could just flow naturally with the direction of the club's new owners. Right, now let's talk about Eddie Howe as a replacement. So let's not forget, he was once viewed as the best successor to Arsene Wenger at Arsenal. I think Eddie Howe's a strong tactician who always seems to be, a few important points away from the right environment. I think as a manager, his prowess has been felt in English football. And after Bournemouth's relegation in 2020, he has been out of work. But in my opinion, his strong drive and desire to secure wins with that sort of attacking football, it will make him a good hit for the needs at St James's Park. I'm a fan of him. Next up, let's discuss former Roma boss. Now, his name has really been doing the rounds this week, and I, for one, think he's a great choice. I think that sentiment is shared with most Magpies. According to the reports from The Mirror, Newcastle co-owner Amanda Staveley, she wants to agree on a £6 million per year deal. He's got 9 trophies to his name, and Staveley and many fans are excited with this record and his strong drive. I think his experience is vast, and I reckon it would be really interesting to see how his strong managerial style works in English football and how he performs in the Premier League. Home to some of the strongest and most experienced managers the sport has ever seen. Moving on from managerial talk, let's now talk about another update: the potential sale of Newcastle's stadium naming rights. Now, Newcastle's new owners are rumoured to be considering a sale of the naming rights to St James's Park, and this will serve as a means to raise more revenue. And I understand that some eyebrows may be raised in response to this rumour, given the seemingly endless pool of wealth held by the PIF. However, it wouldn't be a good business decision to make a purchase of this magnitude, really, without a strong intent to raise profit. Historically, selling the naming rights for stadiums in the Premier League has churned a large profit, and I don't expect this case to be an exception. Although, I do believe that there is an argument to be made about potential sabotage of the team's identity that has been built over years and years and years. Yet still, Arsenal and Manchester City, they've garnered enormous sums of money by engaging in the sale of their naming rights. I guess we'll have to await further developments on this over the coming days. What are your views? How would you feel if St James's Park was renamed? Just comment below, do let me know. I think for me personally, I would be gutted just because of the history attached to the name, and I guess whatever happens, this sign ain't going nowhere. Now let's talk transfer targets. Yes, we are a while away from the January transfer window, but of course there are some really big names that are doing the rounds. So one rumour that has intensified in recent days is on Newcastle's interest in Porto winger Luis Diaz. Now, he's been lined up as the first signing under Newcastle's new ownership, and he's rumoured to be under an €80 million bid as we look to just overhaul our squad. And, we're aware that the club has plans to spend large amounts of money towards a new identity as a trophy-winning team. And I feel like Diaz would be an influential change given his role that he's established at Porto. His performance as a winger has shown some really strong contributions. He's bagged 17 goals across all competitions in each of the 2 seasons he's had since joining Porto. I guess we'll have to follow updates on this and probably many, many more names over the coming weeks. What I found super interesting actually is how the current squad have responded since the takeover went through. I bet the pressure on the current players is just immense. Of course, they're keen to show that they're worthy of remaining on Tyneside and being part of the big plans in the new journey. I think the only players who are truly safe are probably Alan St-Maximin, Callum Wilson, I guess Joe Willock, maybe Miggy Almiron too. I'm not sure much of our backline will survive an overhaul, maybe Lascelles. We do have an ageing squad, and who knows if the new owners see the importance really of retaining the backbone of the squad. I guess one thing's for sure, the pressure is on our squad whilst these plans are forming. What do you reckon? Who do you think will survive the cuts? Comment below. Right, well there's my weekly Newcastle update. I've tried to include most updates over the past week. I think the new ownership has definitely brought an interesting change of pace for the Magpies. In just 2 weeks, a lot of changes have been and are being made in the club. With the backing of the PIF and other investors, it's abundantly clear that these new owners are here to create a trophy winner out of the club. I feel like they're certainly showing promise with their active decision making thus far. However, time will will tell if this rapid action strategy will work in their favour for success. If you enjoyed this video, do hit the like button, do subscribe for more football content, and I'll actually be bringing you this Newcastle update every single week. This series is brought to you by Kitbag. Do check out the link below to shop with them. You can also use the code that I've left below as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Do comment below your thoughts on the Newcastle developments. Let's have a chat below. I will see you in the next video, so bye for now and have a lovely week.